The Pakistan Air Force proudly showed off its Chinese J-10CE fighter jets during last year's border clashes with India. Now, those very same jets are running out of steam. Why? Because Beijing is deliberately delaying maintenance supplies and even holding back the futuristic J-35A stealth fighter that it promised to Pakistan. The reason is familiar. Because Islamabad hasn't paid its CPEC bills. And while China remains Pakistan's all-weather ally, it appears that the friendship stops short of handing over expensive military weapons if Islamabad won't pay up. And the explosive reveal has not come from any anti-Pakistan agent. Instead, it came from prominent Pakistani journalist Aftab Iqbal on his TV program. The revelation exposes a deeper vulnerability. Pakistan's frontline military systems increasingly depend on Chinese money, technology, and goodwill. And that goodwill is now under pressure due to strained financial ties and CPEC loan disputes. So is China's all-weather friendship with Pakistan finally hitting its financial limits? Is Beijing increasingly frustrated with Pakistan over CPEC debt servicing issues? Can Pakistan actually afford the fifth-generation jets it wants from China? And what happens to the J-10CE fighter jets sitting in Pakistan if Beijing keeps saying no to spare parts? Let's dive in. Let's start with the bombshell claim. Veteran Pakistani journalist and anchor Aftab Iqbal claims Islamabad is struggling to obtain crucial spare parts for its Chinese-built J-10CE fighters, all because of unresolved financial disputes linked to the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC. He also suggests that Beijing's hesitation over the J-35A stealth fighter may be tied to the same quarrel over money. Neither the Chinese government nor Pakistan's defense minister has publicly confirmed that J-10CE spares have been delayed. There is also no official statement connecting military supplies to unpaid CPEC bills. But what lends Iqbal's claims some credibility is the genuinely troubled state of CPEC's financial arrangements. It's documented and it's public. Loans owed to China now make up more than a quarter of Pakistan's external debt. Chinese power companies recently refused Pakistan's request to waive off billions in late payment surcharges linked to 18 CPEC power plants. So what happened then? Well, Pakistan was left holding a begging bowl to secure up to $10 billion in low-cost foreign financing to repay expensive Chinese energy-related debt. Another reason that Aftab Iqbal's claims gain traction is that Pakistan's armed forces remain heavily dependent on China, and the story of the military procurements from Beijing remains just as sordid. Take, for example, China's J-10CE fighters. Pakistan ordered 36. It has received 20. The remaining 16 have been suspended, reportedly because Pakistan couldn't clear the milestone payments required before shipment. Pakistan inducted the J-10CE into its Air Force 4 years ago. But buying a fighter jet is only the beginning. Combat aircraft need a constant flow of spare parts, engines, radar components, software support, missiles, and of course technical expertise. And it is these spare parts that Beijing is reportedly refusing to ship to Rawalpindi now. Now, Pakistan cannot easily turn to another country either for parts designed specifically for the J-10CE. China controls that ecosystem that gives Beijing enormous leverage to arm twist the Pakistani Air Force over CPEC dues. The story of the Chinese fifth-generation fighter J-35A for the Pakistan Air Force is even murkier. For months, reports claimed that Pakistan would acquire up to 40 of these stealth fighters. Some projected deliveries in 2025, others said 2026. Yet Pakistan's Defence Minister Khwaja Asif has now publicly dismissed these reports and said no agreement has been signed. As of July 2026, neither Beijing nor Islamabad had officially confirmed a final J-35A export contract. Defense reporting has suggested several possible reasons for this uncertainty. One, the aircraft remains a priority for China's own forces, and sensitive technology may not be ready for export. Two, and more importantly, is that Pakistan may lack the money to finance such an ambitious purchase, and that makes Beijing nervous. The bigger picture here is Pakistan's economy, not its air force. Over half of Pakistan's tax revenue goes towards servicing existing loans. CPEC-related debt alone now makes up for more than a quarter of the country's total external debt. Add to that a fragile foreign exchange reserve and strict IMF bailout conditions, and buying a squadron of expensive fifth-generation stealth jets starts to look less like a defense upgrade and more like a financial fantasy, so to speak. Islamabad is currently trying to negotiate a 5-year extension on roughly $15.5 billion in CPEC energy debt, while simultaneously trying to convince Beijing to hand over its most advanced fighter technology. Now, these two asks don't sit very well together. China and Pakistan remain close strategic partners, that's undeniable. Beijing continues to supply submarines, aircraft, missile and air defense systems. In April 2026 alone, Pakistan commissioned the first of its 8 Chinese-designed Hangar-class submarines, showing that defense cooperation has not grinded to a complete halt. But the scale of Pakistan's dependence on China is stark. According to CPEC, China supplied 80% of Pakistan's major arms imports between 2021 and 2025. Pakistan was also the world's 5th largest recipient of major weapons during this period, after its arms imports rose by 66%. In other words, a disruption in Chinese support would not affect one aircraft alone. It could ripple across Pakistan's wider military inventory. So what's really unfolding here isn't really about 16 fighter jets or one stealth deal. It's a reality check on what all-weather friendship actually means when money runs out. What do you think? Is Pakistan's dependence on Chinese weapons becoming a strategic vulnerability? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. This is Times Access. Do click like and hit the bell icon below to subscribe and never miss an update.